Okay, welcome to the second video in relation to keyword research. What I want to show you now is something really special. The Google keyword tool that we were speaking about in the other video is very useful. But what I want to talk to you about now is what's called Google Trends. So let me just take you over into Google here. And if you put Google Trends in here, there it is, you can bring up Google Trends. This is Google Trends here, which actually allows you to do a search for trends. I use this for what I call broad keyword research, so it's quite a high level. So we're going to continue with the example we were using earlier in relation to dog training. So let me just put it dog training in here and search the trends. Now, it gives you a lot of information, but I just want to filter this down a little bit so we can see what's going on. Firstly, it's giving me all regions. So what I'd like to do is narrow that down. Let's just take the US as an example, and all years. It's currently showing me from 2004 all the way to 2011, which is a little bit too long. So let's just make that for 2011, so we can get an overall picture of the actual trend. I'm just going to move this over here so you can actually see all that. Okay, so what I've done is I've selected up in the right there United States in 2011. This gives me a little line graph here for the overall search volume throughout 2011 for dog training. As you can see, it's fairly consistent. There's a few peaks and troughs here and there, but it's fairly consistent. Now, if I scroll down a little bit more, I can also look at some of the different sub-regions and some of the different cities. Now, that's all very well, but dog training is, as you can see, has a very sort of consistency to a great trend in dog training. People consistently need information on it. Let's just take a slightly different niche, which tends to vary that little bit more. Let's take weight loss just for 1 minute to give you an idea of how useful this tool is. So if you look at weight loss in 2011 was fairly stable. As you can see, it was very high, very steep at the start of the year. So for January and even coming into February a little bit, there's a real sort of spike in weight loss, and it goes along a little bit sort of up and down during the year, and sort of tapers off gradually as we move into October. A little bit of a spike coming into November, but as you can see, towards the end of the year it goes off the charts, and that's a fairly normal thing to happen with something like the weight loss industry. Obviously, during and post Christmas and into January is when everybody starts to think about their weight loss, and the trend gives you a chance to really see that quite clearly. Okay, let's look at another niche. Let's look at iPads, which is if you're in the consumer electronics market, it'd be quite relevant for you. So iPads in 2011, as you can see, they were a little bit up and down, relatively stable, but as we going towards Christmas, there's a real spike here in October, November time. They most likely released a new version of it, and then the huge Christmas spike kicks in there in November and December as well. So you can see there's a huge spike and a huge trend here in relation to iPads, and the whole point of the trends here is to give you a broad, bigger picture of when you should be targeting, when you should really be focusing on these particular trends. Okay, so this is the Google Trends tool, and you can drill down into this in a lot more detail in relation to different cities and sub-regions, as you can see down here. I'm not going to do all that for you now. You can go in and play around with it a little bit yourself, but it's actually a really useful tool, particularly because you can do it by country and you can do it by year as well. So we're just looking at 2011 here, but I could change it and we could see all years. It goes right back to 2004. Well, you can see iPad's only relevant since 2010. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's when iPads came out. But look at the spikes and look at the way the traffic works. It's actually quite interesting for iPads, and obviously Apple keeps track of this and has a very good idea of how this graph moves, but they're doing a very good job of developing this market. Anyway, that's a little insight for you. It's called Google Trends. Very useful for giving you a sort of a clear idea from a market research point of view what you should be focusing on in relation to your business or in relation to the niche that you're actually focusing on. Thanks very much.